Penn State, real quick, you guys have kind of covered that one up, but again, right at the end of the half, did not get a couple stops, didn't manage it well. Offensively, the pick, in a close game, we kind of let it get away. Did battle back third quarter against Penn State to kind of hang, but still didn't have enough defensive stops or offensive firepower, and offense meaning just our ability to score points. So you got a stat day and you move the ball, but we need to get some points that we didn't, and again, lost another tough game on the road. Fortunate to have Purdue this week in a rival game, a big game, and they're playing well, and a lot at stake as we always play each other. So with that, we'll talk questions with you.
Your second go-around with the bucket game, does it mean a little bit more to you this time? Do you have just a bigger sense of what that game is?
Haven't been in the league in the region for a long time, and haven't been in places where you always had, quote, a rival per se. Although I always contend that there's no such thing as a big game. They're all big, but we are fortunate to have a great rival that's historic, and we're playing for a trophy, and it means a lot to both sides and the fan bases and students and coaches and players. So that's great. That means a lot to me. I think it's just a little bit more year two, a little bit more. Not necessarily the game, but just an attraction and commitment to our kids, and wanting to get guys like Adam and Will to have a great week and in their career. They've made a lot of investment here. I think they've helped us significantly. I think they've laid they've earmarked our program with their commitment and work, and it'd be nice to send those guys out on a positive note. They've been a very positive part of our deal. So to get the scoreboard right and to get a W would be great for those. So I'm a little bit more attached, I think, to the guys in our season and wanting the season in on a positive note more than, the games means more because you've already been in it.
Do you see some of the younger guys who are maybe more vocal responding to that, kind of maybe seeing this as an opportunity to really give them one last shot, I guess?
I don't know. I mean, I think we practice, at a certain pace, a certain way, and some guys are chattery and some guys aren't. Some guys, always practice at higher levels of intensity than other guys. So, again, I don't think, as young as our team is, that there's a nostalgia of this is it. We're still kind of building. I just like to say, out of respect for Adam and Will and Nick Sliger and Larry Black and those guys, like to have a great week because those guys have been great leaders and but I don't think the rallying point of our team is let's play well for those guys. I think we're playing well for everybody. We always talk about playing well for your teammate and the guy on each side of you. And that being said, again, I don't think we have a nostalgic group where, like we said a few weeks ago, senior, we don't feel like it's over. And again, I want to send some seniors out the right way because of what they've done for us. But I still feel as youthful as well. We're still just kind of continuing to keep moving in a positive direction as we build. And these seniors are going to end their career, but to me, it's not like it's over. They're a big part of our start, and they're going to be a big part of our start as we keep moving forward in years to come.
Defense isn't performing at the level that you want it to, but is there progress that guys are putting themselves in a position to make a play? They're just not making the plays maybe as much as you
sometimes, and sometimes we're getting blocked and not getting off blocks, and sometimes we're just misaligning, not executing right, and sometimes we got to keep looking and putting guys in good places. And so schematically, are we doing the right things, with offense or defensive play calls and in structure, and I always say offensively, you can draw the pass routes in the world, but if you can't pass block, they don't work. So, that being said, it's execution, it's coaching execution, it's putting it together. So, defensively, we've had a couple games where numbers have not been what we need it to be. Offense, 2 turnovers again last week. I think we had 3 the week before. I think we had, a couple at Navy. But we've got 12 turnovers. I think we've got 7 of them in 4 games, where we've got 2, 2, 2, and 3. And so we have 7 turnovers in 4 games, and in 11 games we've got 5. Again, I don't think our team that takes points off the board. Last week we have 2 turnovers in the scoring zone. So defensively, our defense is there. Are we making turnovers? Are we getting turnovers? I think we're 3rd or 4th in the conference in fewest turnovers given up, but we're tied for next to last with turnovers created. So turnover ratio is not an offensive stat, a defensive stat, it's a team stat. So when we're talking our defensive play, yes, sometimes we're in position and we make a play. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we're not in position. We're getting blocked. That happens sometimes too. But we've got to keep evolving physically and keep evolving schematically on both sides of the ball and in the kicking game. We got to keep improving. And that's player development, recruiting, and that's coaching, and keep learning what we can and can't do.
You've talked about having work to do and ways to go. How close are you, or how far away are you from getting over the hump and to the point where you want to be?
Again, I think we've made, some solid progress. I think we've got some scoreboards that we needed to get on our side that we let go this year, whether we didn't manage the game right or call it right or execute it right or make a play. So we've went from not a good start year one numbers, but laying a decent foundation. Now the foundation's taken off and we're moving, and we've had a little bit more success. We got an opportunity this week to get our third Big Ten win, to get 2 of them on the road, and to get a win in a rival game. So that would be a nice finish. At the same time, our standard is I think, internally a little bit higher than most people I think outside would think it would be. So to me, we've got a long way to go, because we're not trying to, be competitive. We're not trying to be close. We cautioned our team early in the year to not accept getting patted on the back for playing a close game. Our object is to win, play winning football, play competitive football, play football that matches this school, because this school is an awesome school and it deserves to have an awesome team. So, at the same time, we're getting there, but I don't know if you're ever there. You're going to keep pushing. I don't think any coach will say he's ever over the hump. And because I think once you get there and once you have success, the ability to maintain it will even be harder than us building. So even talking today as we move forward, like, hey, what will be our thoughts next as we finish this week? Now there's not a bowl game. We get into recruiting. We get into off season. What's the plan to keep building? But before we build, we've got about 5 more days to get through Saturday in the 2012 season, in fairness to Adam and Will and Nick and Charlie Love, who has a knee, Charles Love, who's got operated on Friday, our other 5th senior that was a scholarship guy coming in. We got Alex Webb and Nick Freeland, walked-on guys who are out there playing for us a little bit that are seniors. We got some juniors that wanted to graduate, aren't coming back. But end of the day, for those, there's 3 or 4 or 5 special seniors, and we need to end this season really good for those guys. And then we'll talk about what we need to do to keep building.
I know you're focused on Purdue, but your thoughts on the additions that have been announced with the Big Ten?
Again, I think we got tremendous leadership with the commissioner and the presidents, and really the presidents are, going to make, vote and on what they want, and always I think the Big Ten's going to only admit teams that bring athletic and academic credibility and whatnot. So with the addition of Maryland yesterday, that's their powers, and what they do. And I just know with the leadership we have, we're not going to do something that we don't think is in the best interest of our league. In this day and age, with the financial situations of college athletics, a lot of institutions, we are very fortunate to be in a very stable league, a very, very strong league. And I think with the leadership we have, anything they're doing is to try to continue to make it stronger and enhance it as it goes forward. Now, at the end of the day, though, we're just trying to get some first downs and third down conversions and get some stops and win this last game. So, but I like our leadership, trust our leadership on campus with the Big Ten, and I know our league will keep moving in a strong way.
With Purdue, what is it that might concern you about them as you prepare for them?
Well, they're, again, a very talented team. Won their last 2, had a string where they lost a few in a row there, playing some very good football teams. They take Notre Dame to the wire. They also take Ohio State to overtime. Those are the only 2 undefeated teams in college ball. And they lose to 1 in overtime, and I believe Notre Dame kicked a field goal at either the last play of the game or the very end to win 2017. So they've played their skill set, plays with some of the premier teams of the country. They're sitting at 5 and 6. Defensively, their front, their D-line, their D-ends, Quan Short inside, outstanding players, corners with speed, very multiple in their looks. Offensively, speed players at running back. The running game last couple of weeks have gotten going. And when they really play well, not only do they run the ball and they're good on defense, they have an outstanding kickoff returner, and they've been good in the return game. And actually, their best returner has actually been out. But the guy that came right in has kept the same numbers up. Last year, I think we take the lead 14-10. And the young man I'm talking about ran a return back to about the 8-yard line. They scored the very next play, 17-10. And I think we go 3 and out or a short possession and they score again, and then they were kind of behind in the second quarter of a pretty good game last year. So solid in defense, very athletic, some speed on offense. A couple quarterbacks they play. Sometimes they play 2 at one time. One quarterback's a hybrid. He plays running back. He plays receiver. He's a wildcat guy, and he throws it good. And the Henry kid, so Robert Marr's played since the 80s. So he's been up there for quite a while. He's a veteran. I mean, they've got a good skill set. They got a heck of a good team, and when they play well, they're a very, 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 very stout football team. We'll need to play our best to win this game.
Talk a little bit about Marr, a guy that's had tremendous history of injuries, and now is playing without an ACL, and seems to have, inspired them a bit and played well down the stretch.
He, remember looking at him when he came out of high school when I was at Oklahoma. Actually came back from spring break last year on the plane with him, and he was giving us scores. I think that's the day Indiana won. It was a tournament game we won on the Sunday night with the last-minute shot that got us to the Sweet 16. Yeah, it was the VCU game. He was kind of giving everybody scores. I saw him coming on the plane, introduced myself. Hey, Robert, Kevin Wilson, because, again, respect good players and especially respect guys that have had to fight through some things. And, Jason White at Oklahoma, different player, but had a couple ACLs and came back for a 6th year. And I think it just shows a lot to me. Here's a guy not only fighting to come back, but then have an injury and keep fighting. So, I respect guys that are competitors, and I think he's a heck of a competitor.
You guys, you seem to play the same game on the road and at home. That you don't have a big drop off in energy or just your level of play. Have you noticed that same thing with this group?
Well, sometimes, there's actually less distraction on the road. You're with your team more. And, you can say you're going into the other arena. We kind of take it as an exciting, this year, though, Penn State's the only game that was an excess crowd, and by their standards, it wasn't a full stadium and rock and rolling by the Penn State standard last week. But there are some teams, I think the way we do things, the way we actually travel home, we go down south and kind of get out of town a little bit, but there are more distractions with home games, with family coming in, friends coming in. If you do it right, you can manage a road game in a positive way. And what we've done is just try to embrace the fact for us to be, a winning football program and build a quality product. We've got to play these teams every year, and we got to play well on the road. And we've taken it more as an opportunity, and let's embrace it and go after it instead of saying it's a problem. And so again, we've gotten a couple road wins. We played close a couple, but it's the same field, same deal, and maybe we're a little bit more mature. The one disappointing thing to me is that we don't play better at home, and we don't have more energy at home, and in time getting our product good enough and the crowd good enough to have a little bit more of a home field advantage. Because I don't know right now, outside of it being our stadium that we're used to, as we move forward, and hopefully our team continues to improve in year 3 and 4 and 5, that you'll get more of a home field, where right now we just don't travel. And so I think that's, to me, is a disappointing thing. Our record at home is not what it needs to be. And winning some of those non-league games at home are not what they need to be, and then closing out and getting some Big Ten wins at home. So we got to keep working on that.
Talking about expansion, I mean, is it too early to? I know people kind of look at that and wonder about recruiting benefits or anything. Is it too early to kind of know how that impacts that area of a program, or do you think about that much?
Not really, and sometimes you can say, okay, they're coming in your conference, you can go there to recruit. But at $4 a gallon of gas, it's hard to drive a lot and have families go. So, that being said, we're going to continue to start regionally and in our backyard and in the Midwest, and complement that with states. There are great players, in the D.C. area. There's great players that belong to Eastern Seaboard. But I always say, I'm from North Carolina, and a guy will send me a tape and say, hey, here's so-and-so, Coach so-and-so from North Carolina. I go, yeah, but is he going to drive by that school, that school, that school, that school, and his mom and dad for 4 years to just get to our place? So at the end of the day, sometimes the farther you go away, are you really getting a quality product? Some of the states have enough talent that they're guys that they don't have the opportunity. But that being said, just because you're adding someone from that state, I don't know if that really heightens your ability. Let's go recruit there. We kind of spot those areas anyway.
Kevin, I know you talked about how there isn't just one big game, but is this game important to go out into the offseason when you start recruiting and say, hey, we beat our arch rival, we've got some momentum going, Is there more importance to this game just from that standpoint?
Without doubt, and all season of the workouts, because we're a team trying to develop, and I think it's always easier to continue to develop and work hard when you have positive notes. We've been able to create some positive energy, even a few times earlier this year when the scoreboard was short. But at the end of the year, as we're building, because we're still building, win, lose, draw, whatever the outcome is Saturday, which there's no draws, win or lose now in college ball. We're still building. But it's going to be a lot easier to build recruiting, a lot easier to build in workouts, a lot easier to build with success, without question. Because I don't think we're a team that we know we've quote gotten over the hump or arrived. So without doubt, it'll mean a lot to these seniors, and I think it would be a positive deal for the football program. And bottom line, you're playing your rival, and winning your rival is one of the great things in sports. So I don't care if you're playing, if it's a debate, or whatever contest we're having. Anytime you're playing your rival, you want to win. You want to have higher graduation rates. You want to have higher recruiting class. You name it. Anytime you go against your rivals, you want. That's why you're rivals, and that's why you're keeping. And of course, we're playing a game that keeps score. Some things are subjective, but anytime in any area, whether it be in the business world, whatever, when that's your competitor, that's your rival, you want to have better numbers and you want to have victories for sure.
When you were at Oklahoma, and obviously you guys really had it going there for a while, was there more of a sense amongst the staff when you played at Oklahoma State, it's like, hey, let's keep them down behind us, let's win this game and keep that momentum going?
No, I don't ever, when we played Texas was a big one. It wasn't about keeping guys down. It was just, you just knew it was a big game. It was an important game. And so I don't think, a lot of people say, hey, we get an outcome Saturday. We want Purdue doesn't go to bowl game. My objective is not whether they go to bowl game or not. That's my deal. Is we need to win the game. Has nothing about their what it does for them. It's about what it does for us. Winning is good for us. Winning builds us. Winning takes care of our seniors that we have a lot of respect for. Winning gives us momentum in recruiting. Winning gives us an opportunity to build in the all season. So I've never looked at it. This is what it's going to do for them. And then as a coach, sometimes you worry more about you in preparation than the opponent. I think we always want to, bring everything back to what we can control. And so to me, like you say, your question in regards to building for recruiting in all season, it's more about that. And it's more about taking care of some seniors than it has anything to, it's something for the, that's why sometimes, like when people ask me, what's your opinion of so-and-so's program? I go, I don't have one, because I don't work up there. I don't live up there. I watch their tape. But I don't know anybody's environment but ours, and we're trying to make ours better and internalize and make our product the best it can be. Good. Last one of the year, nobody wants it. Happy Thanksgiving, you guys. Appreciate what you do, man. You guys have a great Thanksgiving.